even I remember sort of growing up in Bombay as a child, there were always sort of upmarket sports and sports that were
Yeah.
played in the village,
Yeah.
and without trying to sound like like an
Yeah.
elitist,
Yeah.
Our schools played volleyball and cricket
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. But you would on Doordarshan see kabaddi matches happening. You would see in lanes,
Yes.
in the older areas like Dadar, Parel,
Yeah.
people playing kabaddi and hututu. Actually,
Hututu.
and instead of saying kabaddi, 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 because there's a hututu would happen.
Yes.
So how do you think this game came into sort of prominence
Yeah.
outside local areas and gullies and that kind of stuff?
Firstly, I think you raise a very valid point there, right? We all speak of, even today, you're talking about when you grew up, everyone spoke of volleyball and certain more elite sports. Even today, everyone says, oh, football is on the rise. Football is the sport that every Indian watches. Manchester United, Barcelona, Real Madrid. But then you look at the numbers, and the numbers are quite stark. And I always am fond of going to data when you have to prove certain points, right? And it's a fun point to prove because you go back not so far. You go back to 2022, the Qatar FIFA World Cup was going on. The first day of the FIFA World Cup, I think, had 9 million viewers. The first week or the first 6 days of the FIFA World Cup had 31 million viewers in India. We're talking about, at the same time, the Pro Kabaddi League, the opening night alone in India had 40 million plus viewers on the opening night. Now, that is the power of Bharat.
It's not only the power of Bharat, it's how we are, in a way,
Perception.
Yeah, we don't know who would have thought?
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, right? We are in our bubbles. We're living in our bubbles. We I think, forget that the real power of India doesn't just lie in the metros. It goes out into tier 2, tier 3 India. There's a lot of real India that is existent there. And we just need to unlock the power of real India, right? We keep speaking about Naya Bharat and having sort of that ability to bring it out. And when you've got something as dynamic as a sport like this, why not? So, I go back to its roots, and you spoke about Parel. There's actually the first notion of it at the Olympic Games was an exhibition that was played. It wasn't, unfortunately, an official exhibition, but in 1936 at the Berlin Olympics, a gentleman by the name of Dattaram Lad, if I'm not wrong, from Parel. And there's two versions to this. One version says there was a contingent of 35 members that went across to Berlin, played an exhibition game. Everyone loved it so much that they asked for a second game to be played. 40 minutes, 2 halves of 25-minute break and a half. And the fact is that everyone in Germany loved it. Adolf Hitler, in fact, apparently appreciated the sport. So that's one version. The other version is that this gentleman on his own solely went to Berlin, but there was an exhibition of the sport. So again, very hard to trace it back because unfortunately, Mr. Dattaram Lad is no longer alive.
And nobody's written it down.
And no one has actually written it down. And that is the chaos of kabaddi that you also love. Score lines were not written down for a long time, And so I think, as beautiful as a sport is, it is, like I said at the start, wonderfully chaotic.
I